Today, I'm going to become the GM of each NFL team that has a pick in the first round, and I'm going to be trying to make the best possible pick for each team. I've done this once. A lot of you guys liked that video. Some of you didn't really agree with some of the picks, but today I'm going to try and make things as realistic as I can. Obviously, this one's going to be post-free agency, and it's also going to be just 2 weeks away from the actual NFL draft. Make sure to go down in the comments. Let me know who your favorite team is, which player that you want, why you want them. And then I also want to know what you thought of the pick that I gave your team. And make sure to like and subscribe as well. It would mean a lot. But let's go ahead. Let's get started with pick number 1. The Chicago Bears hold the first overall pick for the second straight year, obviously trading it last year. This year, I don't think that's happening. Originally, I thought they would, but now after trading Justin Fields, which, look, I didn't really agree with that decision. I'm a Lions fan, and I think they should have kept Fields. But Caleb Williams has the opportunity to be the next kind of Patrick Mahomes player. If you watch him, he does remind you a little bit of him. I'm not going to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but I think he has similarities when it comes to play style. I do think that it was smart for the Bears, but they also gave him up for like a bag of chips. So to me, I think they should have just kept Fields, built around him. But Caleb Williams has the opportunity to be 10 times better than Justin Fields. And if he lives up to expectation, this will definitely work out for the Chicago Bears. Pick number 2, we have the Washington Commanders. I got them going with Drake May out of North Carolina. I think this pick is really just between two guys. It's going to be Jaden Daniels or it's going to be Drake May. I'm 50-50 split on which one I think they'll get, but I do think they're going to go with Drake May. I think that he has a little bit more of an NFL prospect, kind of like body, I guess. Just he's massive. You look at him, he's tall, great size and arm strength, great accuracy. I do think that he's going to be very good in the NFL, given the right circumstances. They're going to have to build around him a lot, but I do think Drake May is a great pick for them. Pick number 3, the New England Patriots are going to be taking Jaden Daniels. Again, if Drake May is there, they're going to take Drake May. If it's vice versa. I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be the third pick, though, and I think him in New England would be so fun to watch. I would love to see this guy. I really have high hopes for him in the NFL, and I think that, again, given the right circumstances, I could see New England making a comeback within the next couple of years and possibly getting back to that super team form that they once were, and Jaden Daniels could help take them there. Now, with the 4th pick, I have the Vikings trading up with the Arizona Cardinals. So I had the Cardinals trading down, Vikings trading up, and I had the Vikings taking J.J. McCarthy. Now, J.J. McCarthy wasn't even in my last mock draft, but the thing with J.J. McCarthy to me is he can only fit on a couple teams in the NFL. The Vikings are one of those teams. If any team, like let's say the Falcons, if let's say they didn't have Kirk Cousins and they traded up for J.J. McCarthy, to me, that's a stupid decision. They don't have the right system for him. They don't have the right fit for him. J.J. McCarthy will only fit on a team with a great run game, a good offensive line, and great weapons around him. Now, that's for most quarterbacks, but J.J. McCarthy to me is more of a game manager, kind of like a Brock Purdy, Jared Goff. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with being a game manager. Jared Goff and Brock Purdy went to the Super Bowl and conference championship this past year. Being a game manager is honestly almost better than being, one of those running quarterbacks. So to me, I think J.J. McCarthy would honestly be a great fit for the Vikings, and I think he would help them out a ton. Again, given the right circumstances, he's going to take a couple years to develop. Is he worth it at pick 4? I don't know, but I feel like him at pick 4 is very realistic because I do think the Vikings are going to trade up, try and get a quarterback. JJ might be the only guy they can get there. Pick number 5, I've got the Chargers going with the obvious choice here, and that is getting Justin Herbert some health. They're going to go after Marvin Harrison Jr., which at pick 5 kind of seems like a steal. And that's crazy to think a wide receiver is a steal at pick 5. I think that this is the obvious pick. I don't see how you could pass up on him. You could argue an offensive lineman, but I just think that Justin Herbert, has no help right now. He needs his wide receiver 1 right now is like Josh Palmer. He needs a wide receiver. Give Marvin Harrison Jr. immediate upgrade from any guy they have. I know Keenan Allen's probably a top 10 receiver, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to be a top 5 to 10 receiver his rookie year. He's going to be a stud, and I think the Chargers need to get him. Pick 6, I have the Giants going with Malik Nabers out of LSU, another guy who I but I think has similarities to Justin Jefferson. And I think that, I don't really know about the Giants quarterback situation. I don't think Daniel Jones is that guy, but if you give him some weapons and an actual good team, I do think Daniel Jones, you put Daniel Jones in the 49ers, I guarantee you they could win a Super Bowl right now. Daniel Jones is not a bad quarterback, but he's also not a guy that's just going to be like a Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes and just lead a shitty team to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Now the Ravens weren't shitty. I was kind of trying to give examples of previous years, but for Patrick Mahomes, they didn't really have a great team this year. He had no one to throw to, but yet he was able to take him there. Daniel Jones is not that guy. Most quarterbacks aren't. Get him some help. He might be solid. Pick number 7, I got the Titans going with Joe Alt. This seems to be the popular pick among mock drafts that I've looked at, and I think that it's a smart decision. I think that they do need more O-line help, and who knows what they're going to do with the quarterback spot. I'm guessing they're going to just stick it out with Will Levis because he did show some signs, and I have high hopes for him, and they're starting to get him some weapons and help. I think the Titans could be solid this year, given the right circumstances, obviously, and I think Joe Alt is definitely the guy to go here. I think he's the best O-lineman in the draft, and he's going to be the right fit for the Titans. Pick number 8, I have the Atlanta Falcons taking Dallas Turner out of Bama. Best edge in the draft, I think, going to be a stud. Give him 2 years, and I think he could be a top 10 easily. I'd say he could be a top 10 within 2 years. I think he could end up being a top 5 down the stretch. Will he be the best edge rusher in the league? Maybe not, but I do think he's going to be an edge number 1 and a guy that can get you 10, 12 sacks his rookie year and maybe a 15 sack season down the road. I think he's going to be very good. Pick number 9, I've got the Bears taking Rome Odunze out of Washington. I don't love this pick for the Bears because they do have Keenan Allen and DJ Moore already. But they do need another wide receiver after that. I forget. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they still do have Darnell Mooney. They might have gotten rid of him. I cannot remember. But if they do still have him, he could be their wide receiver 3. But I feel like you need to upgrade there anyway. And I think Rome Odunze, getting a guy at pick 9 to be your wide receiver 3 isn't very smart. But when you look at other mock drafts, this is the most popular pick, and it seems the most realistic. It's either this or you're taking O-lineman. But I think Rome Odunze would be your wide receiver of the future because, look, Keenan Allen's old. You need another guy to fill in for him. I think Rome Odunze would be that guy. That's why I think it would be smart to take him at pick 9. I think that's honestly a good pick. Pick number 10, I got the Jets going after Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. I have no idea if I'm saying that name right. I think I am. But Olu Fashanu is one of the better offensive linemen in this year's draft. And I think that, again, the Jets, what do they need? They need O-line help, right? Rodgers went down like the second play of the year last year, and if they want to make a Super Bowl run, they have to keep him healthy. I think that getting a guy like this will help strengthen that O-line and help make this team into a contender that they thought they would be this past year, and hopefully Rodgers is able to stay healthy. Heading to pick number 11, we have the Cardinals. Obviously, they traded down earlier with the Vikings. I got them going after Talisi Fuaga out of Oregon State. Hopefully I'm saying that name right as well. Very cool name, honestly. But I think that the Cardinals, they need a little bit of everything. But for some reason, I think a lot of people can agree that the Cardinals could be one of those sneaky good teams this year that you don't expect to be good, but they sneak their way up to like 9 wins, maybe like find a wild card spot. I wouldn't doubt it. Kyler Murray stays healthy and they can build around him a bit, get some O-line help, get some wide receivers. Their defense is looking all right. I think they could be a really good team. But I do really like this pick for them. I think they need O-line help pretty badly as well. Pick 12, I've got the Bengals trading up with the Broncos. And with the 12th pick, I had the Bengals taking Brock Bowers. I think I had this in my previous mock as well. And this is just because I think that this is just a dream scenario for the Bengals. I mean, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm 100% trying to get Brock Bowers. I think that, their defense is looking pretty good this year. There might be a couple positions they might want to strengthen there. Offensively, you've still got a really good, wide receiving core. Running back, maybe you want to strengthen that, but there's really no one you're going to get in the first round. If I'm the Bengals, I think that Brock Bowers is the dream fit and a guy that's going to take your offense over the top, gives Joe Burrow another dude that he can sling it to. I think this would be a great pick. Pick 13, I have the Raiders going after Jared Verse out of Florida State. I got them going after another edge. They took Tyree Wilson last year. I still think Tyree Wilson, give him 2 more years, he'll develop into a solid edge. But I think this guy is going to be, Jared Verse is going to be an immediate impact, 10 to 12 sacks, maybe even his rookie year. I think he'll probably end up with like 8. But a guy that's going to probably average 10 to 12 sacks throughout his career. I think he's going to be one of the best edge rushers, not only in this draft, but could be a top 5 guy in this league. I really do have high hopes for him, and I think he's going to be very good. Pick 14, I got the Saints taking Terrion Arnold, our first corner off the board. And look, Terrion Arnold is not by any means my number 1 corner in this year's draft. But from what I've seen from mock drafts and from just, NFL GMs and, whatever, most GMs are very high on Terrion Arnold. And I do think that he's going to be either the first or second taken just because of that prospect ability of what will he turn into. He had a really good year at Bama, one of the better corners, obviously. But you have to remember, he was going up against cornerback 2s. You had Kool-Aid on the other side, taking away the cornerback 1. That's why I'm not really sure why GMs are so high, but I think this is most realistic. I honestly see him being a really good corner in the NFL if he develops correctly and if he goes to the right team. I think that the Saints would be a good fit for him, and I think he's going to be a dog. Pick number 15, I have the Indianapolis Colts sticking it with Brian Thomas Jr. I had them taking him last year, and my goodness, dude, like, the Colts are just such a weird team. Like, they were like one play away from making the playoffs last year. To think about that is crazy, by the way, with, a backup quarterback, and they were supposed to be in a rebuild year, and now you're going to have Anthony Richardson coming back healthy, and then you're adding a guy like this, who, to me, I compare him a lot to Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that they're really similar. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a little bit better route runner, but Brian Thomas Jr. would be a dog on this team. He would be fun to watch, and the Colts are going to be one of the more fun teams to watch in the league if they do end up getting this guy, and Anthony Richardson's going to be a beast if he stays healthy. I really like this pick for them. Pick 16, I had the Seahawks trading down and the Lions trading up. I had the Lions trading in my last draft to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. I have them trading up to get Kool-Aid McKinstry again. Pick 16 of the Lions going after Kool-Aid McKinstry. Some of you might not agree with this, but look, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a top 15 pick in this year's draft. I don't see how you're going to sit here. I get there's a whole foot injury thing that's not going to affect his draft stock. This dude ran a 4.47 on a broken foot. He's perfectly fine. It's not going to affect him come training camp and all that. Kool-Aid McKinstry, to me, is the best corner in this year's draft. Best overall when it comes to overall skill set and being a lockdown corner. And that's what he is, and that's what the Lions need. And they need a cornerback for their future. Not only does he have a cool name, but the dude is just a good player, and he's a 3-year starter at Bama. The Lions have seen what that's done with guys like Brian Branch, who was a 3-year starter at Bama, and you also drafted another Bama guy, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they're going to stick it out with the Bama guys, including McKinstry. To me, is just the most well-rounded prospect corner-wise in this year's draft. I think they need to get him, and he's my dream scenario as a Lions fan. If he somehow fell to 29, I don't see it happening. I think they're going to have to trade up to either 18 to 16 to get him. I think 16 would be the safe spot to make sure that they can get him. I think to be the perfect pick. Pick 17, I got the Jaguars going after Nate Wiggins, another one of my top corners in this year's draft. Again, I would be actually pretty happy if the Lions took him at 16 as well, but I think I'd rather have Kool-Aid. I think he's a little more realistic. Nate Wiggins, potential to be the best corner in this draft. I think between him and Kool-Aid, I think they're the best two. And Nate Wiggins would definitely help out a Jaguars team that didn't really, meet expectations last year. I think Trevor Lawrence kind of regressed, and it was kind of weird because not a lot of people saw that coming, and I think that they need a little help defensively still. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the Jaguars do this year. I think if Trevor Lawrence can pick it up and get back to what he was his second season, they'll be just fine. Pick 18, I got the Broncos taking Bo Nix out of Oregon. Now, I've seen plenty of mock drafts with this happening. I had them trading down, getting some extra assets, and still getting Bo Nix. I think that's more realistic because, look, there's not going to be another team. Now, the Seahawks could go after him at pick 16, but I think they'd take Michael Penix before they took Bo Nix. But you're not going to have the Bengals or the Raiders. The Raiders could actually go after Bo Nix because they kind of need a quarterback. But Raiders aren't going to take him. They got other needs. The Saints aren't going to go. The Colts aren't going to go. I mean, none of these teams are going to go after Bo Nix, in my opinion. So I think that trading down anywhere, into the 20s even, you're going to have a really good chance of getting him. And I think that they're just a quarterback away from being a really good, playoff contending team. I thought getting rid of Russ was not the right decision. I thought Russ was not the issue. But Bo Nix, I think, is a perfect fit for this team. I think if there's any team he should go to, it should be Denver. Pick 19, I got the Rams going after Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. And this guy was an interesting guy. He rose up draft boards, had a really good combine, and he's continued to rise up these draft boards. And I see him being a very good NFL player. He's just got to develop, right? He's not going to be – he could come in and be one of the best corners, but I don't think he's going to be like that. I think it's going to take 2-3 years. By his third year, he'll be one of the top 10 corners in the league. Pick 20, I got the Steelers going O-line and going Jackson Powers Johnson. One of my favorite O-linemen in this draft, probably is my favorite. He's a guy that can play guard or center. And the Steelers, they're always looking for O-line help. I think that this is the right decision for them. And I think that this is really going to help out whoever their quarterback is, whether it's Russell Wilson, whether it's Justin Fields. Because, man, I feel like the Steelers could be one of those teams this year that just, exceeds that 8-9, 9-8 expectation and finally gets 11-12 wins. It kind of depends on how their quarterback play goes on and which quarterback ends up making the biggest difference. Pick 21, I got the Dolphins sticking with Chop Robinson. I had them taking him last time. I think this is the best choice for them. I think that getting another edge rusher is really going to help that defense out. They lost a couple of guys in the offseason. Offensively, they're still looking really good. If Tua can just kind of pick it up a bit, I think they'll be fine offensively. Still got that insane run game with A-Chain and Mostert, which both guys broke out last year. It was crazy. Got Tyreek still, you got Waddle still. You'll be okay offensively. Defensively, you need to upgrade and get another edge rusher, and you'll be solid. Pick 22, I got the Eagles going after the Swiss Army knife, Cooper DeJean. Now, Eagles fans, I'm really interested in how you guys feel about this pick because I know Eagles' biggest need is a cornerback. Now, with Quinion Mitchell, Terrion Arnold, Khalid McKinstry, Nate Wiggins all off the board, would you be okay with taking Nate Wiggins or would you rather get someone else? Because you could also go after an edge rusher. I thought Cooper DeJean was the best pick here because he can play safety and corner. And I never was a huge fan of Cooper DeJean, but the more I watch him, the more I realize how much of a game changer he is. He can do punt returns, and he's just a good player. He's just a dog. He has that dog in him. I do see him being very good in the NFL. I'm excited to watch him. I think he's going to be very good. He's going to be great. Pick 23, I've got the Bills trading up with the Texans, and I got them going after Keon Coleman. I saw a mock draft earlier of Keon Coleman going third round. I thought that was the funniest thing ever because there's no way a guy with this talent should ever go that late. Keon Coleman is a straight monster. He deserves to be a first-round pick. You watch Jordan Travis highlights, you quickly realize, oh, this is just a Keon Coleman montage. The dude is a monster. He's 6'4", athletic freak. Not the fastest guy in the world, but he doesn't need it when he's insanely athletic like he is. He returns punts too. He's just an all-around great player. As a Michigan State fan, I miss watching him, and I'm really glad that he got the recognition he deserved at FSU this year. And I really wish the best for him. He would be a perfect fit for the Bills. I see him being a monster. Pick 24, I got the Cowboys getting Xavier Worthy. And this is a pick I really like for the Cowboys. I think that pairing him with CeeDee Lamb would be lethal. I mean, that offense would be looking pretty good. I think they would just need a little bit of help in the run game. If Dak was an MVP candidate last year up until, the end of the season, if he can continue that, the Cowboys are going to be looking good. They just have to survive past the wild card round. I don't know what it is with them and choking in the first round every year, and just got to get past that first round. I don't know. But Xavier Worthy, to me, I really do think this is the dream fit for the Cowboys. Now, Cowboys fans, tell me, is Xavier Worthy your favorite pick? Because to me, if I was a Cowboys fan, this would be the guy I want. Insanely fast guy that's going to bring out your offense even more. I would love it. Pick 25, I've got the Packers taking Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Another one of my second favorite O-lineman between him and Jackson Powers Johnson. Those are my two favorites. This guy is I already see him being a stud in the NFL. I think he's going to come in year one, make an immediate impact. And if I'm a Packers fan, I would be pretty excited about this pick. As a Lions fan, do the Packers worry me? Not really. But at the same time, their future is so bright. They have such a young team, young offense. And if Jordan Love continues what he did last year, man, they're going to be dangerous for years to come. But Lions are going to be good still. the whole NFC North is going to be insane, especially if the Vikings find a good quarterback. It's going to be a just dogfight in the NFC North. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited. But the Packers, man, like you strengthen up that O-line, getting Jordan Love a little more help, continue to strengthen that defense. They're going to be looking very good. Pick 26, I got the Bucs taking Laiatu out of UCLA, and another, like, this is a guy that could go top 15. I think getting him here is a steal. I really do. I think he's one of the better edge rushers. Most PFF has him as like their second or third best. I have him as my third or fourth best. I really like Chop Robinson. I really like Jared Verse. I really like Dallas Turner. But Laiatu is a guy who, he falls right here. I think the Bucs would be stupid not to take him. I think they need an edge rusher pretty badly. And I think that this would be the guy to go. And I think he would be a beast in Tampa, a team that's got a really bright future as well. Pick 27, the Cardinals. I got them going after A.D. Mitchell. I mentioned earlier, I had them getting Talisi Fuaga, get some O-line help, and then now I got them going after a big body wide receiver, and I honestly see him fitting really well there. I can see him being a top 5 receiver in the league if he gets the targets and used right. I really do think this is the pick the Cardinals need to make. They need some wide receiver help, and A.D. Mitchell seems like he'd fit perfectly in Arizona. I really like this pick for them, and I think he'd be perfect. Pick 28, I got the Texans after trading down. I got them going after Jer'Zhan Newton out of Illinois, and look, the Texans, man, I mean, what a season last year. And then now you're going to add to a defense that, needs a little bit of help. I think their offense, Jesus. You got Stephon Diggs, you got Tank Dell, Nico Collins breaking out, and you add in Joe Mixon. And then now, you just need a little O-line help as well, for sure. I think they need some O-line help. But I think that more importantly, they need an interior defensive line. You now have Daniil Hunter, Jesus Christ, along with Will Anderson. That's like the best edge rushing duo in the entire league, in my opinion. And then you add in Johnny Newton on the inside. Oh my gosh, this team is going to be competing for a Super Bowl this year. I think they're a top 2 team in the AFC if they get this guy. I think that they're going to be looking really good. Pick 29, the Seahawks after trading down. I got them taking Michael Penix Jr. Most Seahawks fans seems like this is the guy they want. Now, if you're a Seahawks fan, let me know. Is this the guy you want, or do you want to keep adding to that defense? Maybe get some O-line help, because they honestly, offensively they look good. You got K9, you got DK, Lockett, Jackson Smith, and then defensively you got Spoon. They're looking really set for the future. They really just need a quarterback. Is Michael Penix going to be the guy? You want to waste a first round pick on him? Take a chance on him? He's still only 23, 24. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I would love to take a chance on a guy who played at Washington and brought his team to a natty and see what he can do in the NFL. He's an elite quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Geno Smith. That's the thing. But the other thing is that he reminds me of a younger, better version of Geno Smith that has a better arm, more accuracy, better decision-making, and an even better leg. So we'll see. Pick 30, got the Ravens going after Ennis Rakestraw Jr. All the other corners are gone. I really like Rakestraw. I really do think that he is one of the most raw, most high potential corners in this draft. Kind of like Quinion Mitchell. This is a guy who he's going to need to develop for a couple of years. I see him being really good in the NFL, especially in the right system. I do think that the Ravens have the kind of defense that would fit his play style. And I think that the Ravens could use an extra corner. I think that that's one thing that they're missing. Like, you look at that roster, they're really not missing anything. Maybe an O-lineman, maybe some help on the defensive line. I don't know. I think that cornerback would be a way to go, though. And I think getting a young guy for the future that can develop would be smart. Pick 31, we've got the Niners taking Graham Barton out of Duke. I think I had this in the last mock draft as well, and I still really like this pick for them. I think that, you can continue to get more O-line depth, and a guy who, he played tackle in college, but PFF said that he should probably move to either guard or center, more preferably center, but guard what he'd be better at as well. So if the Niners need a guy on the inside, this is the guy to go. I do think Graham Barton's going to be a dog, and I think this would be the smart pick for them. Pick 32, I've got the Chiefs taking Darius Robinson with the last pick in the first round. Darius Robinson's a guy who, as a Detroit Lions fan, if we didn't trade down or trade up, and we were still at 29, Darius Robinson would probably be the guy I'd want for the Chiefs. Pairing this guy up alongside Chris Jones, alongside George, I forget how to say his last name, Clarfis, I forget. Pairing him up on that D-line would make that defense even better. Now, look, I know the Chiefs need wide receiver help, but look, there's so many wide receivers already gone that you're more better off just trying to get one in the second round, maybe getting a Xavier Legette, who I was going to actually have picked here, but I think that you could easily trade up in the second round and get him at pick 42, 45, something like that. So I think Darius Robinson would be the best pick to go here. Best available player, in my opinion. I think that that's what they need as well. And that'd be a great pick for them. So we'll see. That is my entire first round. If you are still watching, I appreciate it a lot. Like I said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you thought of your team's pick, and let me know who you want and why you want them. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and peace.